Let's get started and away we go because it's still Aortic Disease Awareness Month, even though I'm doing last week's. Okay, so we're starting on the 18th, and here we are. We are talking about our reading resources created by the community, meant for the community. So, a lot of you like to read. That's awesome. If you're looking for a great book or a guide, then this is the page for you. This is under our resources section. Let's check out a lot of these books that have been written by patients for all of you in the community. And of course, the first one that's going to pop up is going to be Aortic Dissection, the Patient Guide. We've given you a lot of information about this book, but basically, this was initially created by our friends from the Aortic Dissection Awareness team out of UK and Ireland, and they allowed us to have an opportunity to present this to you. So we took about 10 or 11 months with our own team of clinicians and patient reps, and we changed it up and edited and put all the stats in that represent our country and the things that we do here to be able to present this to you. So along with Think Aorta, Aortic Hope is presenting this guide to you. We are able to give it to you for free with a download. Of course, you can click this. You can also go into our first page of our website, the top of the resources section, the top of our Hope Shop. Download the book for free. That's a given, and you should. Even if you haven't had a dissection, you might want to consider checking it out, because if you think you might have open heart surgery, there's a lot of really good information, tools, and tips. We talk a lot about medications that you might be prescribed afterwards. We talk about emotional, mental health, wellness, support, and resources. So much stuff. So it would be applicable to you as well. There is also an opportunity for you to order one hard copy per household. Now, we are asking that you give us a donation for $10 to cover the shipping and handling. That really helps us offset these costs, but the book will always be free for everyone. There's also a bulk order form. We want you to please talk to your physicians. And physicians, if you're listening, please order on the bulk order form. You have an opportunity to order this in a box of 25 or a box of 50 so you can distribute them to your patients and caregivers. So you can check that out. Here's a book. This is the second edition from Maria Herrera, and this is Dissected, Healing with Poetry, My Journey with 2 Aortic Dissections. So this is an awesome book. I remember we talked about it. We interviewed her live. What I really like about this book is that she presents her story in a couple different formats of poetry. Now, I particularly like the poetry that rhymes, like Dr. Seuss stuff, right? But she does that, but she also does poetry in other forms, and I really, really liked it. And I really found it enjoyable and validating to read things that I've been thinking and feeling inside my head that never escaped my lips. So it's always good to have somebody that you can say, wow, look at this person relating to me. But so Maria had her first aortic dissection surgery in 2009, and the fears and the questions became very overwhelming. The difficulty with the diagnosis and the lack of knowledge of some of the medical professionals really worked against her. What could have been addressed with a stent or an observation, if found on time, led to a complicated and dangerous emergency open heart surgery that forever changed her life. The psychological traumas after the surgery became a daunting chore and led her to find a healing path. Poetry became her path and fortified her spirit in the most vulnerable moments. You are not alone. That is a quote from Maria that she wanted to share. So you can check that out. Okay, next up from Andrea Garrett Helms, Here Comes Everyday Sinner, Undeserved Miracles from an Unconditional God. And what Andrea wants to share with everyone is, as I laid there helplessly looking at my beautiful husband's sobbing face as the surgeon said, you need to decide who is priority, your wife or your child. Life is such an amazing, wonderful journey, but at times it's like a badly paved road. You're traveling along and bam, hello, whiplash. Hello, insurance claim. Hello, Route 44, half and half tea with lemon and the good ice. I think I know what that good ice is. You've waited for all day that's dumped on the floor. Our lives over the past 2 years have been more like a bumpy jungle safari trail in an old Jeep with 3 partially deflated tires. I like the way she describes this. God and we beat infertility. God saved our baby, and God saved me, a walking, talking, breathless hot mess. He had mercy on an everyday sinner like me. There are 4 cases in the world of pregnant women with type A and type B aortic dissections with an aortic aneurysm. 2 of those 4 resulted in both the mother and the child perishing. People say we are People say we are walking miracles, but we say our God is a God of miracles. It took me 2 years to write this book emotionally and physically. It holds the most personal details of our journey. I pray that it gives you hope. I pray that it encourages you to speak to your mountain, whatever it may be, with boldness and confidence. I pray that it brings you closer to Jesus Christ. I pray that you turn the last page feeling loved because, friend, you are so very, very loved. Another different take on sharing a personal journey with the community. So I also highly recommend that you check out this book. Okay, Terry Benson, How My Ordinary Became Extraordinary. Again, this book, very straightforward, very detailed account of her journey. It's pretty amazing, but it invites you inside her harrowing journey through one of the worst heart conditions possible. After waking up to find her life fractured by this condition, she fought to reassemble the pieces into a normal life. But when climbing the stairs felt like hiking Everest and brushing her teeth became an actual accomplishment, it didn't take long to feel discouraged. This is the true story of Terry's recovery from an aortic dissection and the people and mindsets that pulled her through it. Whether you are standing atop your personal mountain or still scaling the cliffs, this book is for you. So you might want to check that out. Okay, next book by Robert Fisher, and it is called Life After Death, A True Story of Surviving an Aortic Aneurysm and Dissection. Again, all these wonderfully different presentations from different perspectives. It's so awesome. Imagine rising on a normal day, unaware that you have a rare, deadly underlying medical condition. Without warning, an excruciating pain crosses your chest. You barely make it from your living room to the operating room, but your body somehow manages to hang on, narrowly surviving what most do not. But surviving the initial incident is the only beginning as complications arise. This is the true story of Robert, who at age 55 experienced one of the most traumatic events in his life, an aortic aneurysm and dissection. With less than a 5% chance of survival, Robert was one of the lucky ones. You may remember hearing about aortic dissections. It was what killed TV sitcom actor John Ritter in 2003 at the age of 54. Trying to make sense of his near-death incident, Robert spent many hours talking through what had happened to him with wife Carol. Those talks soon turned into journaling all about what he had to cope with. That journaling evolved into writing of this book, as Robert wishes to bring awareness about this deadly condition. For those dealing with an aortic dissection, or for those interested in what life is like after such a terrifying ordeal, this book may offer you some insight. So check that one out too. Okay, here comes Miracle Man, Beating the Odds, Cheating Death by Scott Pribble. These are all people who have survived aortic dissections. It's just incredible to me. We have such talented people in the community. Do you know anyone facing or has faced major surgery, illness, disease, or other life-changing personal or financial situation? Does that person need hope, inspiration, spiritual grace, and the sheer will to keep going? Do you know people who need to lose weight quickly yet permanently with minimal exercise? The author Scott Pribble survived an internal injury that is 90 to 95% fatal. In this book, he describes his 7-year rehabilitation and comeback. Pribble also describes how he lost 50 pounds in 2 months. So check all of this out. This is all for informational purposes. Do not rely upon this material for information that you should change your medical course of recovery and management. Talk to your doctors. Hopefully this just sparks a conversation for you. And we are not here to vouch for the accuracy of how these events are described. These are just the way these individuals want to personally share their story. Lots of information in our first post, Joshua.
Except for that first one, right? Obviously, aortic dissection,
this one,
patient guide.
Yeah,
that one.
Except for the first one, which doctors help write. Yeah, this is all with stats from, check the first one out. You don't have to worry about these stats being inaccurate.